beautiful Beady Besties. Call here. Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. I believe today is Wednesday. I hope your day is going wonderful wherever you are in this world. My friends, today we have a fun project. I know I've been kind of AWOL for a little while, but I am okay. Let's get into our card of the day, and then we can get into our project of the day, and then we can talk about some stuff and things. Stuff and things, my friends. Okay. All right, let's get into this one, my friends. I'm excited about this project. Look how beautiful that is. Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers and not thunder. I love that. That is so beautiful and very beautiful, encouraging words for today, my friends. All right, so what do we have today, Call? Well, today we have a super fun statement. Playful statement earrings using beads from the Gemstone Orphanage. Look how beautiful that is. From the Gemstone Orphanage Unlimited Tiger's Eye box. Guys, look how pretty. So it's a very playful earring. You guys know I like a lot of movement in my earrings. She is kind of long. I did not measure, but that's never stopped me before. So let's bring in our bead mat and let's get down to this project. So what you will need if you are going to make this, like I did from the Gemstone Orphanage box, if you guys have the box, you're going to need, they had that beautiful leather. We're going to need 2 3-inch pieces of leather. You are going to need all 4 of these leather ends. You're going to need some head pins, I believe 6 head pins. I chose ball head pins. 2 ear wires. You're also going to need 2 of these gorgeous, and I picked out really high flashy ones, so they stood out. You're going to need 2 of those tiger eye barrels. You're going to need 6 of these gorgeous drops, these non-briolet drops, my friends. We're also going to need some of the chain in the box. We're also going to need some of these cubes. I didn't really put a count on the cubes, guys. You can use as many or as little as you want. That's completely up to you. You are going to need a ton of jump rings, though. You're going to need 14 of these 5mm jump rings. I've got 14 of those, and I also have 16 of the 8mm jump rings, which are these big guys. And these guys are a little bit of a smaller diameter. So these are usually, you guys know I like to use 18 gauge or 20 gauge jump ring. These are, I believe, a 21 or a 22. So these are a little bit of a thinner gauge, which is good because we are going to be putting, as you can see, I made a whole bunch for us already. We're going to be making little rings with these cubes. Look how cute that is. And that's just a little fun design element that I like to do from time to time when I have these little tiny beads, because these are really good when you you're a bead weaver and stuff, and you know, you can put needle and thread through those little beads, but I'm more of a stringer, so I like to find different ways to use those tiny little beads. And I believe that is all of the ingredients that we're going to need. Oh, you're also going to need 2 7mm jump rings, and this is the jump ring that I've chosen to go through across the top here, and this is an 18 gauge jump ring. And it will fit through those little loops. Yeah, and you are also going to need some wire. I'm going to use some of this beadalon in the 22 gauge. And that's what we're going to use to wrap our little tube. All right. Oh, sugar daddy, my friends. I totally forgot. Listen, my chair is so quiet now. I can be so stealthy. Y'all didn't even need to know that I forgot the glue. Oops, sorry. Until I took out my studio light, then you would know. You'd be like, Kyle forgot something, but she's in stealth mode because her chair is so quiet. All right, you're also going to need glue. And I hope I have enough in there, because if not, you guys, I made the mistake of buying the liquid. And I should never, ever be trusted with super glue liquid. So I'm not using that. I do have some hypo cement, but for leather, I do prefer super glue. For leather, I prefer like the super glue gel. So that's what I usually use. So either the Gorilla Glue, the super glue, or the Loctite gel. Any of those I think work really well with leather. Better than the hypo cement. But the hypo cement will work, guys. So if you have some hypo cement, feel free to use that. E6000, I don't use a whole lot of E6000, but that's just, that's just me. All right, so what we are going to do is we're actually going to glue, we're going to prepare our leather first, right? Because we're going to want this glue to set up and dry a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my Super Profesh gluing station, which is basically a piece of piece of wax paper. It's not just for the kitchen. Okay, that's my jingle that I feel like I have to sing every single time. But anyway, and now you can do this however you want. You can put it on a toothpick, right? You can put it on a toothpick and dab it in there. But guys, that's a very, very, very small hole. Here's the toothpick. I mean, you could just little dab it in there. You could. Sure, why not? But I'm just going to be like a savage, and we're just going to put a little dab on the end and then do that, okay? That's fine. That's fine if you do that. That's fine if you don't do that. That's completely up to you. I don't judge people on their gluing, okay? I just really don't. Okay, so that being said, we're going to prepare our leather. So I'm just going to, I hope in a prayer, hopefully we can squeeze a little drop. Guys, you don't need a whole lot. This is why it's good to use the gel. I'm like squeezing, I'm shaking. She's almost empty, friends. That's about all we're going to get, I think. All right, so now you want to be really careful, and you want to be holding these loops a certain way. Hold them with the loop facing up, okay? And there's a reason for that, because we want our loops to face the same direction, because we're going to be bringing a jump ring. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of glue here at the bottom. Guys, you don't need a whole lot. Just a little bit. We're going to insert that in there. Now you may get some on the side. Feel free to wipe that down. Oh no. I think it's because I got a little, my leather, I got a little, I saw that little point and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to stick in there. And that's okay. We can just cut that real gingerly. Just be careful with that leather. All right, you also don't want that super glue on your cutters. What a mess that would be. Let's try this again. I should have prepared my leather better. Again, I'm holding this so our loop is fake. Look at that. Would you look at that? Okay, let's try this again, part 2. Just wipe a little bit of that excess leather. Now, if your leather is making a natural little bow like this is, go with it, right? Go with the bow, my friend. Go with the bow. Let's try this again. Look, I got a cat hair stuck on my hand now. That's just crazy. All right. And it should really slide in there. Now I probably put way too much glue on this piece, which I hope not, because I might have to cut another piece of leather. Oh my God, we failed already. Hold on, friends. I have much more leather because fortunately for us, there was a ton of leather in that Gemstone Orphanage box. And I have barely used any. So let's bring some more in, shall we? Let me just pause while I cut real quick. Okay, friends, and we're back. And I just cut my second piece of leather. Again, another, that was crazy. Maybe I put too much glue. I didn't think so, but we're going to try that again. I still do have a little bit more glue on here. And I did try already without the glue. I wish I had more of these ends. I might somewhere. See how, like, you got to make sure your leather is, like, cut a certain, so it doesn't be sticking up like this. Okay. All right, let's try now. There we go. I might have to look for another one of these little caps. I don't know if there's maybe a problem with, oh, see, it slides right in there without the glue. Maybe I would just, maybe there's some now it's not coming off. So we're just going to leave that on there. I feel like there's some residual glue in there. So just never mind that whole, I just want to make sure this is going to fit on this side before I make a more fool of myself. Okay. Y'all saw how well that went on, right? Okay. So maybe I put too much glue. I don't know. It's possible, guys. I can never always be trusted with glue. Again, we're going to hold this with the loop facing out like that. It's up there looking at us and smiling. And then we're just going to put, like I said, you really don't need a whole bunch. I probably put way too much on. Okay, you really don't need that much. That was way too much, Carl. I think that's the problem. Okay, and we're going to insert that. Okay, that one went on much better. And so you see how these loops are now both facing us? When we bring that together, those loops will be facing outside. So then our jump ring will just scoop right in. Okay, so now we're going to put this aside to dry a little bit. Now, typically I would want this to dry at least an hour, you know, but that's all right. We're just going to leave that to the side. And let's start on some stuff. Now, friends, pro tip. If you are using this box and you're using this chain, I can't find my little insert with all the specifications, but I feel like it's stainless steel, and so don't use your good cutters. Use your memory cutters if you have them. If you do not have memory cutters, you can just old-fashioned open up the links, and that's fine too. But I did use my memory cutters. So what I did was I took this chain and I cut it into a couple different sections. So as you can see in this example, I have two little sections up here. This is a section of 3 links, and then we wire wrap this drop right onto that. And then we have a little bit longer section that has 2 links at the top, 3 links at the bottom, and 2 of these bigger squares. And then we have our next section of chain, where we added one of these links on, so it's just 1 link bigger. And then we have our middle chain, which is 3 and 3, and then 2 little ones, and then we have a dangle on this one. And then in between, we put these jump rings in there to kind of just bulk it up and make it more interesting. And then there's our drop, and we're going to do some fun little wire stuff with our drop. So that's what we're doing. So I prepared our chains. I'm just laying them out in order here. Okay. And we are going to do 2 of these together. So we'll do the middle piece together, and then we'll do one of these little side arms together. Okay. So this is where you want to get your drops and your, we have some ball head pins here. Nothing but the finest, nothing but the finest. All right. And you're going to put one of your drops on, fat side down. These are so pretty. Look at that color shift in there. These are gorgeous. I'm going to use these a little bit of a skinnier nose pliers, because these are my favorite. I think these were like, I don't even know where I got these from. I think like, who knows, but they've become my favorite. So I love my bead-alons, but I really love these for like this kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to bend our wire over our tool, because we're going to be creating a wrapped loop here. Okay, we're going to bring in these pliers, these round nose pliers. We're going to take this wire, we're going to go over, we're going to spin those pliers, and then we're going to continue to take that wire over to the other side. Do not close that, because we're going to attach this to our chain. So you go take that off the tool, and this is what you have. And then we're just going to take our pliers, and we're going to take this little door. We're just going to open it up slightly, and we'll attach, this will be our short chain. Okay, and then we're just going to fit that chain right into that little loop there. And then I will take these pliers again, and I will go ahead and close that door, and I will also hold on right there where that wire is crossing. I'm going to go ahead and switch hands over here. And you can do these with whatever pliers you have. Now I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to finger wrap it. Because it's not very strong wire. And guys, I'm just finger wrapping. It doesn't have to be the best wraps. It can be a little messy. It doesn't really matter. Okay, we're going to take that off the tool, and then we're going to cut that little, this one was a little bit messier than my other ones. I must have really been in my zone that day. It was just last night, my friends. I just made this last night. But let's go ahead and close that. Like I said, the wraps don't matter. Oh, it's all going to be beautiful. You just don't want no sticky outies. Okay. And there's our chain that is attached to our wire, and let's just straighten that out. Okay, so now we're going to do our middle piece. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to, I'll try to do a little bit neater wrap this time. I got super glue stuck to my fingers, and I got these little sticky purple hair. These are little purple fibers from Guys. I cut some fairy silk up. I know. The police are probably onto me already. They probably already have my profile at the station. They're going to be making some arrests soon because I cut up the fairy silk. I was working on a bargain bee box project. And the little pink fibers are everywhere. I hope to bring that tomorrow, hopefully. Okay. Don't close that. That's what we got. Take that off of the tool. And we're just going to open that little door. And, oh, I already put a jump ring on this. Okay, cool. Okay, and that is going to just slide in there, and then we're going to lock that in place. I'm going to close the little door. Right. Then I'm going to hold it right here with my pliers, and I'm going to switch hands. I'm going to turn it around because I kind of like to rather wrap this way. Okay, I'll try to wrap a little neater. Just bulking it up a little bit. Okay. And get in there with this little guy here. I forgot to put my little bead mat buddy down for my tools. Trying not to be super loud. Okay, and we're just closing all those pokey outy guys. And then we're just going to straighten our loop out a little bit here. And that's looking really nice. And it's attached to the chain, so that's super protective. Now, guys, what you need the 5mm jump rings are for these connections. And you do want to use, now, guys, you can probably get away with a 4. But you do want a big enough jump ring that's going to go over all of this stuff. You know, it'll slide right over all that. So no issues there. So let me, where are my other pliers? Let me go ahead and open this and attach it. Okay. To this guy. All right. So there's our drops are done. Our chains are all cut. Our jump rings are on our chains. Magically, the magic jump ring fairy came and put all of our chain on jump rings. I appreciate her so much. She's so diligent and so loving and thoughtful. I don't know about this jump ring. I don't like how it's closing. It's like a little... I'm awfully particular today, my friends. I know. Okay, that's much better. All right. So there we have it. And then, what's this chain for? I have an extra chain. Oh, this is one of our inner chains. How did you become an outer chain? So that's the one. Okay. So this, you are this one. Yes. Okay. There we go. I think. I don't know. I might have put this one on the wrong one. I did. Put it on the middle chain. This is the middle chain. Oh, I put it on the wrong chain. Guys, that's why the loop was already on it, because I put it on the wrong chain. This has just been an embarrassment. That was a good loop too, my friends. That was a good loop. This has been an embarrassing evening. This is the chain we want to put that on. Oh, and of course I didn't pull any more. Oh my word, we are so disorganized today. That's okay, friends, because wait till my bargain bee box necklace comes up. We are doing so much with that necklace, my friends. Hopefully I will shoot it tomorrow. But we are doing a lot. Probably way too much that Carl needs to be doing. So I'm just going to fish out an osteoporosis head pin here for a second. Oh, that one's a good one. All right, just straighten that out a little bit. You know, sometimes you be getting them deals on Amazon and then you get a bag of osteoporosis. There she is. It's all right. Sometimes, you know, it's hard to be a baller. It's not always easy being cheesy. Okay, that's enough, Carl. You've done enough here. All right. Let's try that again on the right one this time. Look, guys, you're getting extra loopage. Extra loopage time. Okay. Right, center that up. Make sure that's nice. Take that off the tulle. So how have you guys been? I hope your weather has been good. That's a part of the reason I haven't been on here lately, because to be honest, I don't feel safe in my office when we're having really bad weather, and it's just been constant bad weather lately. We got a really good break today, and hopefully tomorrow as well, but the weekend is looking pretty sketch, my friends. It's looking pretty sketch. But we'll see. And I feel real bad because Wayne had a bike show on Saturday. It was his first one where he was going to be selling, and it was it's in Kentucky. And so I said, well, I don't mind you going because Saturday is supposed to be really bad weather. I said, but I think I'm going to want to come with you. I'm not going to want to be here by myself. Because even if it's not that bad, I'm going to freak out, right? Because I just don't do weather well. And I have plenty of reason, my friends, because I have some PTSD from living here with these trees. But anyway, I digress. And he's like, yeah, but see, I have to have my dog with me. She's like my emotional support dog. I just can't leave my EMS here. So, well, I mangled this one too, didn't I? My goodness, Kyle. I'm trying to be simple. That's okay. That looks better. All right. But anyway, he's taking bikes and he needs to put the seats down. So I feel bad because I said, well, I can't go if the dog doesn't go. And if I don't go, then I'm going to be freaking out. And he said, well, then I can't go. So I feel bad now he's not going. But he assures me there will be other ones. Guys, you know you have a really amazing, significant other when, you know, they think of you first. And then I feel really bad about it. But he said, no, he said he wouldn't feel comfortable going anyway, knowing what bad weather we're going to get. Regardless if I was afraid or not, he would probably stay home. So he's a good dude, my friends. He's a good dude. All right, so we have this portion down. Now we're going to work on our little jump ring aesthetic here. So what I figured is we're going to have two starting each row. And then we're going to have one in between each. Right? So let's make this one together. Oh, am I one short? I probably am, Carl. You probably are. Let's see. Yeah, I am. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's do this one together, and then I thought I put another one aside. I guess I didn't. I'm just all kinds of on top of it today. Let's put one of these together, my friends. It's real easy. I was putting 4, but you can put 5. I think 1 or 2 have 5 on it from my other earring, because I was just trying to see what I like better. And basically, these cubes just kind of slide right on. You just have to find the hole, which is half the challenge. But they slide right on. That's why you have to just make sure you have a little bit of a thinner gauge jump ring, because if it's a thicker gauge jump ring, they will give you some issues. Sometimes you just, that one don't really, some of them are like, they don't really want to go on, so that's okay. I'm not going to force you. Some of them, I guess, have bigger holes than others. Because that first one went on really good. There we go. Okay. That one just slid right on. Let's try a different one. I have a couple more of these off to the side in case this one doesn't work. Oops, I dropped it. Yeah, this is real tiny work here. So there we got 4 on there. Okay. You want to make sure you close these really well. Okay. I just made it worse. All right, there we go. You know what, guys? Let me go grab another jump ring real quick. All right, my friends, there we go. So we have put all of our jump rings. Okay. And so that is all done. I've laid this out. Now this is our 7mm that goes in between. So let me put these over to the side. I did bring some extras just in case I needed them. All right, so let's get our wire, and you're gonna need, because we're gonna do some little wrapping flourishes. So we're going to need a decent amount of wire. I'm going to go probably 7 inches. About 7 inches, I think, should be enough. Okay. There we go. About 7.5. All right, and let me just go ahead and straighten this guy out here. I got my fun little inner jaw plier action going. Whoa! Did you see that bouncy boy? That was like Tigger. All right, my friends. So first we're going to do is we're just going to straighten this out. We're just going to warm it up a little. That's what I'm doing off camera. Just warming it up in my fingers a little bit because I dropped it, put a little kink in it. That's okay. We're going to make ourselves, my friends, a knotted head pin. That's what we're going to do. Make sure your ends are always flush. We're going to take our pliers, and I'm going to put the wire about right here, making sure that the wire is not sticking out in your pliers, or else you'll get some weird shapes. Okay, and I'm just twisting my wrist and feeding that wire around. Now you see it's gone around a second time. So before it gets past your wire, I'll show you if you can see that. Let me focus. If you can see that's coming up a third time, don't let that go past your base wire. So then you just want to take your base wire and bend that up. Right? It's got a little kink in it, but we'll work it out. It's got a little bend in it. That's okay. So you'll have this loop shape, and then you'll have this long tail. So you're going to bend it, then you're going to feed that tail right through the loop. You're going to grab your nylon jaw pliers, and you're going to hold that. You're going to put that little loop right up against those pliers. You're going to have your little tail. Then you're going to take your other pliers, and you're going to pull. Now, guys, you don't have to pull. See, as that lasso will get smaller. Just pulling enough to bring that down into this fun little shape here. Okay? And let me just straighten this back out a little bit. All right. Take that off. That's a fun little rosette shape. I probably could actually just pull that just a smidgen, my friends, just a smidgen. Don't be, first of all, we got to find the wire. Don't be hulking this one out. There we go. Just wanted to bring that a little bit flatter. Okay, and that's okay if you have a little lump there, because we're actually going to be tucking wire around underneath it, so you won't even notice. Okay, so we're going to slide our 2B on there, and then we're going to slide 4 of these little crystal cubes. I'm going to slide 4 on there. Where is your hole? These are so cute. I like a good cube, my friends. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the cube. Tell me in the comments, are you a fan of the cubes? Speaking about fun shapes, in my bargain bead box project that's coming up soon, I hope, we're going to be using triangle seed beads, my friends. Triangle seed beads from Danielle Wicks's shop. Okay, this is what you got. All right, let's see what kind of a wrap loop we made at the top. Okay, not very big. All right, so we're going to take our pliers, and we're going to make a bend and find kind of what this is going to be the front, because the loop is going to be going away from us. So that's going to be the front. So find a little what you like. It looks good on the front. I think that looks good. Okay, we're going to do a little bend over that wire. Let me see how big of a loop I made. Okay, and we're going to make a loop. I'm going to go about here. I'm going to bend that wire over. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, bending that wire on the other side. We're going to switch hands. Okay, we're going to center up our wraps here. Now keep in mind, this is the front. This is going to be the front of our charm, or the other side's going to be the front. It doesn't matter. Whatever side you picked. I don't even remember now. But just keep that in mind when we start doing these wire flourishes, that this is the side. So we're going to want to keep our flourishes. Okay, so this is the front. So we're just going to do one flourish around the front and another. See how that's going around the front? And you can switch your hand over to see what you're doing. So this is our front, and then we're going to go around, and then we're going to do a flourish. Now I'm going to take it off the tool, okay, so I can hold it better. And you can straighten this loop up a little bit. You can hold it from this loop, or I just like to hold it from my hands, right? And then we're just going to, and I'm not really like holding the wire crazy. And then we're going to take it, as we flourish down, we're going to take it underneath. And then we're just going to wrap it around one time underneath, right, until it kind of crosses in the front. And then we're going to cut that. Okay, that's good enough, I think. It's just got this little bit of tail here. And we're just going to take this little bit of tail, and we're just going to squeeze it in underneath that. And you can smush this down a little bit too, if you want. But we're just going to take that tail and squish it right underneath that knot on the head pin. Run your finger across it. That feels pretty good to me. And then this is the front. So this is what we have. We have a couple flourishes around the cubes and a couple flourishes there at the bottom. And now we are ready for assemblage, my friends. Assemblage. This is what you've all been waiting for. The assemblage process. Okay, enough talking. Let's assemble. All right, my friends. So we're going to take our leather. Again, we have our loops facing outwards, so that's going to benefit us. And then we're just going to start putting some on. We're going to drop all these two of these jump rings, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to load our we're going to load our first drop. Then we're going to load another jump ring. Oh my God, you guys, I did have another jump ring here. Oh no, that's my 7mm. Okay, never mind, false alarm. Okay, and then we are going to put, I understand I'm taking things from different piles. I've created a mess. Then we're going to put our middle chain on, and then we're going to put on a jump ring with the cubes, and then we're going to put our longer chain on, okay? Then a jump ring with the cubes, and then we're going to put our middle chain on. Oh, guys, I didn't put a jump ring on our middle chain. Slacker. I'm like, something is not right here. We need a jump ring. Good thing I have them right here. Okay. Let's put that jump ring on him. Oh, because we had that whole catastrophe, right? When we put it on the wrong chain earlier on in the program, what seemed like 7 hours ago. You see, I almost picked up the whole bead mat. Look, I'm being careful, guys. When I used to first start doing videos, I was so nervous. And I still get really nervous. You guys can tell when I'm really nervous if I move really fast. That means I'm super nervous. But I used to move so fast, and I used to get my tools caught on my bead mat and like rip up the whole thing. I know you guys remember, because I got some OGs out there. By the way, you guys, we are building. We are 7 away from 1,600. So that's so amazing. I want to thank everyone for being here. My OGs, my new friends. Thank you all so much for being here, you guys. Wait, I'm supposed to have 2 chains. 2 chains. Where's my... Oh, that is my... No. Call, what did you do with the other chain? Guys, well, there should be 2 other chains here. I don't know what I did with them. 1 chain, 2 chains. 3 chains, 4 chains. I'm missing a chain. How did this happen? See? 2 chains, 2 chains. 2 chains, 1 chain. 1 chain is missing. One of these things just doesn't belong here. Well, give me a second. I don't know, friends. I'm going to have to watch a replay so I can debunk the missing chains. But anyway, I prepared another one, my friends. I could have sworn when I laid them out I had enough. I'll have to watch. But anyway, I digress. So we're putting, again, our second to longest chain on. We're doing a jump ring. I was going to say, how do I only have 1 jump ring left? There we're putting on our second to shortest chain. And then, how am I right? Like, did I not count right? 1, 2. 1, 2. There's 1. There's supposed to be 1 jump ring in between each chain and 2 on the end. And that is not how this is working out. And I don't understand why, because I thought my counts were great. Apparently they suck. Anyway, I digress, guys. I'll just do 1 later. It's just the weirdest thing. All right. And then this should be 2 jump rings at the end. And this is what you should have. Okay. Bless you. So feel free to lay that down. Pick up your tools. And then we're going to get our 7mm jump ring. This is our go-between. And this is the easy part that I'll probably somehow figure out how to mess up. I really it's so confusing to me. Well, if I did not have all the right tools, I could have swore I was organized, my friends. I promise you. All right, so we're going to open that jump ring up, and now we're going to pick up our smile, and that's what it looks like, which I love. That makes me happy. Okay, and we're going to go through one of these open holes through that smile. Okay, now before we attach this other end here, we want to attach our drop. So make sure that goes on the right way, which is this way. That's awkward. Don't drop your smile, my friends. Don't drop your smile, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and connect this loop. So then that's what we have. And then we're going to take our ear wire, and we're just going to connect that. You don't even have to open that up. That jump ring has got a really, really important job. And he's got a lot of stuff to do. And I have the utmost I have the utmost faith in him. That's one of those 18 millimeters. You can see like how thick. That's a really thick one. That's what she said. All right, my friends, and here we go. We got through it together. I don't know how I'm missing so many components. There, let me just try to lay them individually in my hands. That's one. That's two. Look how pretty. Look at all this. They shake and they dangle. They do all the things. I'll just, oh, look, guys, I only did one swoosh around that one. I did 2 swooshes around that one. That one got extra swish treatment. I love them. I love them, friends. What do you guys think? Do you love them too? I think they're cute. I think they're kind of statement-y, but also playful at the same time. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, I hope you guys are out there planting your magical beans. I do have Sam's bead box, so I think I'm gonna wait till Friday to open that up. And I got some friend mail today, and I have a really short project coming up, so we'll open some friend mail coming up, maybe later tonight after I edit this, so I might shoot that one. It's gonna be real short. We got a box of love from our beautiful friend, Miss Regina Gina. And yeah, and I'm also gonna do a really quick non-jewelry making project. It's gonna be literally a 5-minute craft project, my friends. So that will be coming up soon. Again, until next time, love you guys so much. Thank you all for reaching out. I really appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, so thank you for being here with me, my friends. Okay, bye.